Hi everybody, welcome to Canvas tutorial. This is a crash course for GATE 2021 and it is the lecture based on different important formulae of physical chemistry, and the topic is chemical kinetics. Actually what I was about to do, I thought that I will upload videos on the NAT, that means the numerical answer type questions, and how to approach those type of numericals. So I was about to upload that, but later I thought that it will be much helpful for you if I first discuss all the important formulas which will be applied over here. Once we have a clear cut idea about all the formulas, so that will be much helpful for us to solve different numerical problems. So that could be the NAT type of question, that could be the MCQ type of question. No matter what it is, it will be much easier. So this video is going to be extremely helpful for you. Over here different important formula I am going to explain, and I am going to give you the slide. You can take the screenshots as well and watch the video till the end. Do not skip the video because this is very important video. This is nothing but the synopsis of the total chapter. Okay, and one more thing is that if you like the video, then of course subscribe it, because you know that your subscription is nothing but the motivation for my work. So please subscribe and share if you like my video. I'm not saying that subscribe first watch the video, then just think that whether it is helpful to you or not. If it is to some extent helpful for your GATE preparation, then of course hit the subscribe button. Okay, thank you. So without a further ado, I'm going to start today's lecture. So I'm starting from very basic, that is, suppose this is a reaction when A plus 2B, this A and B are reactants forming 3C and 4D. For these 2, 3 and 4, these are nothing but the stoichiometry. Now over here, overall the rate of the reaction, you can denote it as minus dA dt. Okay, so it is the negative sign denotes that it is reactant. Reactant disappears as the reaction proceeds, so there will be negative sign. So it is a change in the concentration of A, that means this one. And with time, what is the change of concentration of A with time? And it is the differential rate equation, so that is why it is represented in this form, minus dA dt. So in this way you can see that over here it is a minus dB dt, but don't forget about the stoichiometry. So that stoichiometry will be written in the denominator. That means overall over here 2 mole of B is there, so it will be minus 1 by 2. Now whenever the product is forming, that product is just the concentration of the product is increasing with the time. That is why there will be positive sign, and the stoichiometry, you can't forget about that. So it's 3, so we will write plus 1 by 3 dc dt, likewise plus 1 by 4 dd dt. Now if the rate constant is k, so it can be written in the form of k A to the power 1 and B, concentration of B to the power 2. So over here you consider that this is a single step reaction, and whenever there will be single step reaction, whatever the number of mole of that reactants are present, that will be considered in the power term with respect to their concentration. This is nothing but the consequence of law of mass action. Okay, now if anyone asks that what is the rate of disappearance of A or rate of disappearance of B, so it will be nothing but minus dA dt or minus dB dt. Now remember over here, whenever you are just projecting some reactant or product specifically and just trying to discuss about the rate of disappearance or rate of disappearance of that reactant or rate of the appearance of that product, so in that case only you will not consider the stoichiometry. Over here look at this, there are 2 moles of B is there, but I have already written only minus dB dt. There is no mention of the stoichiometry over here. Now this is nothing but the rate of the disappearance of B. Now how it is related to overall rate of the reaction, because you know that minus half dB dt is the rate of the reaction, which is basically K concentration of A into concentration of B square. So this is K concentration of A into concentration of B square is the rate, and over here rate was minus half of this. So if we consider only minus of dB dt, so the expression will be multiplied with 2. So this basically implies that it is nothing but your 2 into rate of the reaction, rate of reaction. Okay, it is basically 2 into rate of reaction. If you consider the rate of appearance of C or the rate of formation of C, it will be only dc dt plus dc dt. There will be no stoichiometric term over here. So that is nothing but dc dt, and this 1 by 3 dc dt was Ka concentration of A into concentration of B square. So it will be 3 into K into concentration of A concentration of B square. Okay, so this is all about our basic. Now if A to P, this conversion is a nth order reaction, then you can find that the rate expression can be written in this way, that minus dA dt is nothing but your equals to K concentration of A to the power n. Now for this case, what I can write, that what is the expression for the rate constant? The rate constant has expression something like this, minus 1 by concentration of A to the power n dA dt. Now if you consider the unit, now this concentration, this is the concentration term to the power n. N is the order of the reaction, and in the numerator there will be unit of concentration. So overall you will find that the unit of concentration to the power 1 by n. Over here the power is 1 and here n in the denominator. So if you write it, so it will be 1 minus n. So and in the denominator there will be the unit of time as well, this dt. So it will be time inverse, something like this. So the unit of concentration, generally we write it in the form of mole per liter. So it is mole liter inverse to the power 1 minus n. So it's the basic formula of the unit of K for nth order reaction. Now for different values of n, you can determine the unit of rate constant. So it is for 0 order it will be the rate constant. For first order it is only second inverse, because for first order put n equals to 1, so 1 minus 1 will be 0. So something to the power 0 will be 1. So only time inverse is left. Okay. So likewise you can just write down the rate expression, the unit of rate constant for this 3 by 2 order of reaction. So for this case it will be mole to the power 1 minus 3 by 2, liter to the power 3 by 2 minus 1, second inverse. So it will be mole to the power minus half, liter to the power half, second inverse. Okay, let's move on to this extremely important formula. You need to remember this formula. So this is nothing but the rate equation, the relationship between the rate constant, time and the concentration. For different orders, this n value will be changed and you will get the expression for that order reaction. But one more thing, that it is not applicable for first order reaction. For 0th order reaction, putting n equals to 0, you will find this expression. Okay. For second order reaction, putting the value of n is 2, you will get this kind of expression. And over here I am getting the third order rate expression. Now over here you can see that when t is t half, that means at half life. Okay, t is t half means half life, when the half of the reactant is consumed. So over here A0 is the initial concentration of the reactant. So at time t half, you can find that AT is nothing but A0 by 2. So putting AT as A0 by 2 and T half instead of T, you will get the expression for the T half. So this is the expression for the T half for 0th order reaction, this is for second order reaction, this is for third order reaction. So from this only expression you can find it out everything, the rate expression as well as the expression for the T half. And from here you can easily identify that the relationship between the T half and the initial concentration of the reactant. You can see over here that for 0th order reaction is proportional to A0. For second order it is inversely proportional to A0. For third order reaction it is inversely proportional to the square of the A0. A0 is nothing but the initial concentration of the reactants. So what will be the case of the first order reaction? So for first order reaction, just remember this term. So it is a T time concentration of the reactant A, and it will be the initial concentration of the reactant and e to the power minus Kt, where T is the time and K is the rate constant. So from here we will reduce to form this one, that is AT by A0, now taking ln in both the side. So ln E, ln has log base E, so ln E is nothing but, you can cancel out that, so it will be ln E to the power minus Kt is equals to minus Kt. Now from this expression you can say that ln AT by A0 is equals to minus Kt, and ln AT by A0 is nothing but minus of ln A0 by AT. Now minus of ln A0 by AT, and there was minus, so minus minus cancels out, and you are getting ln A0 by AT equals to Kt. From here you can find it out that ln is nothing but 2.303 log. Clear? Okay. Now for half life, what you will say that at t equals to t half, put at as a0 by 2, that is half of the initial concentration. Then you will find the just expression for the half life. From there you can find it out that here there is no concentration term, okay, no initial concentration term. So the half life of the first order reaction is independent to the initial concentration of the reactant. Now over here, these are the points which you need to remember. Now for your calculation purpose, it will be much helpful for you if you remember the value of ln2 and log2. Okay, ln2 has 0.693, log2 0.301, and the expression for the t half. T half is proportional to 1 by a0 to the power n minus 1. Now put n equals to 1, so you will find a0 to the power 1 minus 1 0, so it will be nothing but independent to the concentration of a0. Now for other order reaction, just put it for 0th order reaction, put n equals to 0, you will find that it will be t half in just proportional to the a0. Okay, so let's move on to our Arrhenius equation. Arrhenius equation says that rate constant is dependent upon the temperature, which is a function of temperature. Something like this, where k is equals to a is a pre-exponential term and this is exponential term, over it is the activation energy. Now for any multi-step reaction, suppose the overall rate constant is dependent on different rate constants of the different steps. Suppose we are thinking that there's a reaction like from A to B, then B to C, then C to D, then D to E. Okay, so overall reaction is A to E, and that reaction has the overall rate constant K overall. And for this case, it is nothing but K1 rate constant of the first step, it is K2, K3, K4. Now the relationship between K overall and this K1, K2, K3 and K4 is written over here. There is a relationship between that. Now you are given with this relationship, and suppose a question is that what will be the expression for the overall pre-exponential term or overall activation energy. So in order to do that, whenever there will be the pre-exponential term, just look at this expression except the constant term. Whatever written in this form, instead of k, put a. That will be the expression for the overall pre-exponential term. Okay. Now in order to determine the overall activation energy, so write the expression for the k overall in this manner. So this k overall is nothing but, now you are just ignoring the constant term. It is k1 into k3 square into divided by k2 cube into k4 cube. You can write it in this way, k3 square and k2 to the power minus 3 and k4 to the power minus 3. Now once you write it in this form, now what you will say that the expression for the overall activation energy will be something like this. Instead of k1, write down e1, then there is multiplication sign, so there will be positive. K3, instead of k3, write down e3. Okay, what is the power of this? 2, so write down 2 over here, so it will be 2e3. Then that is multiplication, that is plus. Now the power of k2 is nothing but minus 3, so write down minus 3, so then e2. And then there is multiplication sign, so plus. Then the power of k4 is minus 3, write down the power over here and write down e4. So from here you are getting e1 plus 2e3 plus minus 3e2 plus minus 3e4. Okay, so this is nothing but this expression. Now moving on to this expression, this is very well known expression, that what will be the rate constants for two different temperatures. Suppose temperature is changed from T1 to T2, the rate constant changes, so you are just taking ln in the both side, and after that you are subtracting from 1 to 2 and you are getting the final expression like this. Okay, now over here what I am going to do, discuss about the 4 kinds of reactions. First one is a reversible reaction. Now I am just assuming that both sides are of the first order reaction. Okay, so this k1 and k inverse, this rate constant have the unit second inverse, so these are first order rate constant. The equilibrium constant for this reaction, you know that for reversible reaction, when both the side is available, so there will be a possibility to reach in the equilibrium, so that will be something like this. which is k forward by k backward. And at t time, at t equals to 0, so this is A, initial concentration of A, then A minus x, then A minus xa at equilibrium. So from here you are getting this is the final rate expression. So try to remember this final rate expression. This will be helpful for your numerical answer type question. Okay, so now for the parallel reaction, what you can see that over here this A forms B and C, and the rate constant are K1 and K2. So at time t equals to 0, the concentration of A is small a, and at t time t, it is A minus x, and y amount of B and z amount of C is formed. So x is equals to y plus z. Very important expression. From here you can determine the t time concentration of A, B and T. So whatever I am writing over here, it is extremely important for your exam purpose. So read thoroughly. You can take the screenshot after the completion of this slide, and then you will read it every day so that you can remember it easily and you can apply it in your exam. So the ratio of the concentration of B and C for any time t is nothing but the ratio of their rate constants. Now for the consecutive reaction, that means from A to B, B to C, this is the expression. So at t time t equals to 0, so initially concentration of A was small a, then after time t it will be A minus x and it will be y and z for B and C. So overall A is nothing but x plus y plus z. So the application of these formulas we will discuss it in the NAT type of question and MCQ solving. So you will find the application of these formulas over there. So this is the expression for this concentration of A at time t, B at time t and C at time t. Now for enzyme catalyzed reaction, I have already discussed in my MSQ series. Okay, so these formulas I have already written over there, and there was a question on Lineweaver-Burke plot and Eadie-Hofsey plot. You can click on the I button to check the MSQ, that means the multiple selective question, how to approach those for this chemical kinetics chapter I have covered, and you can find the link on the description box as well. So over here this is the enzyme catalyzed reaction, enzyme plus substrate forming enzyme substrate complex, and that is again forming the product. So it is basically the rate of the reaction, which is basically the maximum rate of the reaction into the concentration term divided by Km plus S concentration term. So Km is the Michaelis-Menten constant, which is basically K2 plus K inverse by K1, and the maximum rate is nothing but K2 into E0, concentration of E, that means the enzyme concentration initially. Okay, at t times at t equals to 0, that means initially what will be the enzyme concentration, that is written over here. Now for turnover number, only K2, that means the rate constant of the second step is the turnover number. Catalytic efficiency is K2 by Km, and there was two plots which can be derived from this expression. One is Lineweaver-Burke plot and Eadie-Hofsey plot. From that two plots we can easily determine what will be the maximum rate, and you can easily find out the value of the Michaelis-Menten constant from the intercept and slopes. Okay, so these are some formulas which will be very much helpful. This is for the activated complex theory. It says that activated complex is nothing but the transition state. Okay, so you can see that overall the overall rate constant is nothing but the equilibrium rate constant into kBt by h, where kb is nothing but Boltzmann constant. I have already discussed this derivation in the MSQ lecture series, so please do watch that. Then it will be understandable to you that how this expression is derived. Over there I discussed the detailed derivation of this activated complex theory and how to determine the overall rate constant value. So I discussed it there. Over here you can find it out that this term is a pre-exponential term. So it is nothing but comparable to the pre-exponential term from the collision theory. Now collision theory is little bit different from activated complex theory. It says that for suppose gaseous molecules, when they collide they will give you the reaction. So not every collision provides you the fruitful reaction. That is why this term P is there. So from here you can see that for the collision theory, the radius of those molecules or atoms you can think that you have to consider, and from there you can calculate the value of the K, and over here it is nothing but the expression for the reduced mass. And now for Lindemann unimolecular theory, I will discuss it in detail in the upcoming video. For MCQ solving, you will find MCQs on this Lindemann theory. So one major conclusion from this theory is that at low pressure of A, okay, it is second order reaction, and at high pressure of A, it will be the first order reaction. Okay, so now over here it's a basic photochemistry, and in this case you can find that the expression for the quantum yield, which is basically the rate of the reaction divided by rate of the first step, and you can easily determine with the help of number of moles, okay, number of moles of reactant and energy in joule and the wavelength provided in meters. You can find the question in exam that there will be number of mole will be given, energy will be given, wavelength will be given. Now you have to just change the unit in this form and then put it in the formula. You can easily find it out what will be the value of the quantum yield. Now the absorbance or optical density is nothing but epsilon Cl. Sample is over there. Okay, now the light is passed through this. When that light is passing through it, so you can think that it is the intensity of the just incident light, and it is the intensity of the transmitted light, and some of the light is already absorbed by the sample, so that is represented in the form of absorbance, which is basically epsilon. Epsilon is molar extinction coefficient into concentration term, which is the concentration of the solution, and length, which is basically this length, path length. Okay, now what is the expression for the transmittance? Transmittance is the nothing but the intensity of the transmitted light divided by the intensity of the incident light. From this expression you can see that log I0 by IT is the expression for the optical density or absorbance is equals to epsilon Cl. Now you can easily say that for this absorbance, okay, A is nothing but minus of log T. So in this slide what we are actually getting that this is a transmittance value and this is a percent transmittance value. The relationship between the percent transmittance value and the absorbance is like that. A is equals to 2 minus log percent T. Okay. And now suppose there are three solutions A, B and C having the absorbance A, AB and AC and transmittance TA, TB and TC. And if you mix them, what you will get that after mixing you are getting the total absorbance, which will be the addition sum of all of the absorbance. So absorbance is nothing but the additive in nature, and the transmittance, the total transmittance, you will get that it is nothing but the multiplication of these three. So actually you are mixing all of them, and now you are passing the light over here and you are just checking what is the absorbance and transmittance, and this will be the expression. From this expression you can easily say that absorbance is additive in nature and transmittance is multiplicative in nature. Okay, fine. So now moving on to this one, this is the last expression, which is the rate is proportional to the relaxation time, and for reversible reaction where the both side is first order, so you can find that it is relaxation time tau is equals to 1 by k1 plus k inverse. This k1 and k inverse are the rate constant of the both the side. Okay, so that's all for today. I think this is enough for your preparation. Just revise all of these formulas, and from the next class we will be solving different numerical answer type question and some MCQs as well. So if you like the video, please do share, subscribe and comment below, because your critical review is very much helpful for me, and your appreciation is nothing but the motivation for my work. So thank you. Happy learning.